Hey everybody, Will from 1 Kilo here. The most heart-wrenching thing in all of weightlifting is making a big clean and then missing the jerk. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to fix it. That's coming up right now. Hey all, glad you're here. If it's your first time, 5th time, 10th time, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you can know every time I have a new video coming out. All right, everybody, let me put you in a situation. It's your 5th attempt on the platform, your 2nd clean and jerk, or it's your 3rd clean and jerk out on the platform, and you have a PR loaded on the bar. This PR could give you a PR total, a new PR clean and jerk. It could move you from no medal to a medal, or even from out of the medals into the win. And you clean that bar, stand up with it, ready to smack the jerk, and it melts out of your hand. You miss the jerk. Ugh, it's the worst feeling in all of weightlifting. You did all of the hard part. The clean is always the harder part. You did it, and now we missed a jerk. And believe me, I've done it tons of times. There's a video going right now of me missing a PR clean and jerk dozens and dozens of times over the course of 18 months. That is so deflating. So today I want to help you correct your jerk so that you won't have the issue of missing so many jerks. Okay, so when we talk about missing jerks, we need to talk about the root cause. And for most people, this video is going to cover the biggest cause that I see, and that's errors in balance in the dip and drive. And athletes oftentimes have a problem by setting their balance in the wrong point. What we want to think about doing is dipping on the middle of the foot, straight through a flat foot, across the entire base of support, not onto the toes, not onto the heels. Additionally, we want the torso to be relatively straight up and down. And when we stay straight up and down, the bar goes on a straighter path, we drive it into a straighter position. Deviations forward and back, whether that's the shoulders shifting forward in the dip, weight shifting forward in the dip, stuff like that, those are all problematic and will cause you to be much more likely to miss a jerk. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna look at some drills, some jerk variations that are going to allow you to correct that issue. Now, I chose several variations for you all to use to improve your jerk, and I didn't choose anything really light. There's really great drills out there like a jerk balance, a half jerk, tall jerks, all that kind of stuff, but usually those things require you to go pretty light, and so I tend to think that those are great technical practice items, but they have limited carryover when the weight gets heavy. So you gotta do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reps of lighter drills to kind of get that motor learning and put you into the right spot to do it when it gets heavy. These drills that I'm gonna show you today are all ones that you can do fairly heavy as long as you see the technique staying together. And these are almost self-limiting, right? You will not be able to make these happen unless you do them correctly. So coming up, you will see my favorite drills to fix your jerk. All right, one of our first drills is a concentric jerk. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put the bar on the blocks, on jerk blocks, and you are gonna get set up underneath the bar, and you're just gonna drive straight into the bar. You're gonna drive it straight up overhead. What you should be able to see is that you are setting in a vertical torso position. Your hips aren't out behind you. You're not leaned over or anything like that. You're set tight and driving on balance as well. So obviously when you set up, you wouldn't want to be on your toes. Again, these drills are going to correct the balance. So we should see flat feet, we should see vertical torsos on everything we're doing here. So concentric jerk, great one. It's going to be related to our next drill. Our next drill is a jerk, pause, and dip, right? So what we're going to see here is if you don't have jerk blocks, this is almost the same drill as a concentric jerk. We're going to dip. As you dip, you're gonna pause, a really long count. We're trying to take out the entire stretch reflex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, a long 5 count. And then drive back into the jerk. What we wanna look for on this though is that we don't want we wanna see that pause be the bottom of that motion, right? Some athletes will try and cheat and they'll dip beyond that. They'll pause in the dip and then dip some more and go. And we wanna pause in the bottom of the dip so that we can drive out of it. We're gonna get some awareness about where our balance is at the bottom of the dip. Athletes will find out really fast if they dip towards their toes because they're not gonna be able to get out of that position. If the athlete does tend to cheat, then concentric jerks are gonna be a better drill for this, but they're gonna do about the same thing. We're just really checking that throughout the entire dip, the athlete is balanced on their whole foot. This next drill is one of the hardest but most effective drills that I found in correcting an athlete's jerk. This is a slow eccentric jerk. So in the dip segment, we're gonna take a very slow 5 count to reach the bottom of the dip. We're looking for the athlete to feel every single centimeter of that dip down, slow, 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 feeling where their knees are going. Are their knees pressing out? Is their torso staying vertical? Are their feet staying flat? And then hit the bottom and get out, driving hard into the jerk. So a slow eccentric jerk is incredible at correcting jerk technique, incredible at getting athletes in a better position. It's actually one of my second, after I do a jerk, pause, and dip, we'll often go with the slow eccentric jerk as we go back to kind of normal jerk programming. So this is incredible. You can combine them even. You can go slow eccentric jerk, 5-second pause in the split even. That's one of the hardest things you could possibly do to somebody, but it will absolutely get some jerks put together well. One of the results of a poor error in the dip and the drive segment of the lift is gonna be some poor balance in the split portion. So our next drill is a jerk, pause, and split. So what we're trying to do is get the athlete to learn where their balance sits in the middle of the split. And that is that we're dipping straight down, we're driving straight up, and then we're splitting straight down so that their torso kind of stays in the middle of that. And we're looking for almost 50-50 balance, almost exactly 50-50 balance between the front leg and the back leg, with the athlete's torso relatively vertical sitting in the middle there. And we're gonna pause for a long count. This is great to make sure athletes have tons of confidence in the jerk as well, so that they are really confident there. And then obviously always recover front foot, then back foot. And that's your jerk, pause, and split. Another great drill for fixing jerk problems is a jerk behind the neck plus jerk complex. So what we're looking for in a jerk behind the neck is that typically athletes are gonna be able to drive it a little straighter, and they're gonna dip a little straighter as well. Sometimes when the bar gets in the front rack, we see a little bit of collapse. Putting it in the back rack makes an athlete dip a little straighter. They're gonna drive straight into the bar. So we're affecting trajectory, which is a big part of the jerk. Is do we drive it up and back, or do we drive it out and forward? We want up and back. And then once we drive jerk behind the neck, we're gonna re-rack it in the front and jerk in front of the neck. So now that we're kind of drilling that vertical torso dip position, then we can come right back on the front side and do the same thing. So this is a really great one. You'll actually see athletes starting to push some serious weights on this. I do like if you are able to rack each of them if an athlete is capable. If they're incapable of doing it, just put it on the blocks and call it a day. So glad you guys were here. Hopefully you loved that video. If you did love it, please write a comment. Let me know that you liked it. Let me know ideas for future videos down in the comments below. And if you're here this long, I hope that you've liked, subscribed, and rang the notification bell so you know when I get a next video out. I will be back here next week, and thank you so much for joining me.